Was anybody even still watching this after the first 2 episodes? I'm shocked it lasted this long. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the movie monster. After the smash hit of the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, Paramount was desperate to have its own armored-helmeted lone wolf and cub series set in a popular sci-fi franchise. So they unveiled the Halo series, set in the universe of one of the most popular first-person pew-pew games, trying to appeal to the YouTube algorithm gods there, of all time. Only the Halo series seemed to have completely missed everything cool about the Halo franchise. It was Halo in name only. I tuned in on day 1 to watch, excited to see the franchise come to life and make a mark on the streaming wars, but the second that helmet came off and I saw that Master Chief was the mustache guy from Orange is the New Black, I was done. And it seems like Paramount is done too after just 2 deeply unpopular seasons. Let's learn all about it today on Tooneytown TV. Well, folks, I am being joined by an expert in the fields of all things TV, movies, and gaming. He is the editor-in-chief over at the fantastically successful pop culture website Bounding into Comics. The one, the only Spencer Baculi. Thank you so much for joining me today here on Tooneytown TV.
Marvin, no thanks needed. You're my friend. I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to talk to you.
Oh, yeah. You know, we've been having, Spencer and I became friends through That Game Place, which is a place that you should all, subscribe to. Spencer's you've got your own channel too as well, right?
I do. Yeah. Studio Kabuto. Hit it throw it in your search bar. I host a live stream every Friday night where we talk about more weeby topics like anime and tokusatsu.
I love that.
If that's up your alley, come hang out with me or catch me and Marvin together more on That Game Place.
Yeah, we stream on that every Wednesday. But let's get into this story real quick. We have got so this has been I think when this was announced, everybody was like, "Oh man, finally, this is awesome." And it ended up being one of the worst things that's ever happened in geekdom. And that, of course,
this was one of those moments where, everything that came out about it, right? We're getting a Halo live action series. Cool. Here's your first production photo, or set photos. Everything looks great. Like, I have to hand it to the series. It's an awful series, but the production was fantastic. The fights look really good. All the armor and everything works right. And so everybody was like, yes, yes. And then they went, by the way, Master Chief takes his helmet off all the time, like it's his favorite thing to do.
Oh yeah, and it's the mustache guy from Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. Did you know, by the way, it's really weird, that guy, I'm glad he has a better agent and he's now playing like heroes, because he was the mustache guy in Orange is the New Black. And I've been rewatching in the background while I've been working Law and Order SVU, and he's also one of the let's say perpetrators in that show. So I'm just you had a rough start. I'm glad you're trying to play a hero at least. And then we all saw how that kind of happened.
Well, yeah, and it was just like, I felt like they looked at this and Paramount was like, hey, we could do The Mandalorian too. We could take an established sci-fi franchise with a cool hero with a helmet on, and it's a lone wolf and cub story, and that was what they wanted. And
I've never even thought about that. I've never even drawn that hard of a parallel. That's incredible. You've even got the the whole mission for what's his name? Din the Mandalorian is get Grogu this mystical power source to this mystical mystery planet, and that's sort of the quest, right? Well, did you watch the first season, Marvin?
I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I was like, I can't do this anymore.
No, it's totally, you did not miss anything, but that you at least saw the part where Master Chief discovers like that Covenant artifact that he touches, and it like blows his mind and it turns him into a Covenant hybrid thing. That's like his Grogu. Like all of a sudden, I've got this special mission where I've got to go. I've never thought about this. This is wild.
Yeah, it's just like it's like basically just a complete carbon copy, except for the fact that he takes his helmet off all the time. But we don't have to worry about that.
Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah. But we don't have to worry about that because Halo has been canceled after 2 seasons of Paramount Plus. I can't believe it got 2 seasons.
I'm genuinely shocked they got 2.
It must have been one of those Velma situations where they got 2 seasons like greenlit from the very beginning. So the live action,
you see that a lot more now too. Like we have, and it's such a dishonest tactic because Velma did it, and if our theory right here is right, Halo did it, where they go, "Here's our new show. Oh my gosh, come watch it," and then it does abysmally. Nobody likes it. And then somehow when the season comes to a close, you get renewed for season 2. And it's like,
Right.
there's no way that's possible. You guys just split this up. I'm on to
Yeah,
you. I'm on to you.
But then, like, it comes out that it's almost like we get to season 2 and they just don't want to even acknowledge that it exists. Like Velma, like nobody even talked about it coming out. Like, so the live action Halo series has been canceled at Paramount Plus. Variety has learned. This is a article from Variety written by Joe Otteson. The big budget series based on the popular Xbox video game franchise aired 2 seasons at the streaming service. The show originally debuted in 2022, while the second season aired between February and March 2024. Paramount Plus can confirm that Halo will not move forward with a 3rd season on the service. The streamer said in a statement, "We are extremely proud of this ambitious series, and we would like to thank our partners at Xbox 343 Industries and Amblin Television, along with showrunner and executive producer David Weiner and fellow executive...
We're only human, folks. We're only human.
Yep. His fellow executive produces the entire cast led by Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief and the amazing crew for all their outstanding work. We wish everyone the best going forward." According to an individual with knowledge of the situation, Xbox, Amblin TV, and 343 Industries will try to shop the series to other outlets. Yeah,
Oh, no.
Good luck.
Oh,
Good
no.
luck. Could you imagine anyone being interested in this series?
Not only can I not imagine anyone being interested in the series, but given that this was already a Paramount CBS production and clearly one of their more expensive ones, who's below this? Who's the lower point? Netflix? Netflix is already starving for money. They're not going to spend for a video game licensing like deal and all the star power and that production level. That's the only spot I can think of, and they're not going to do it. There's no.
We've seen Netflix.
They're too busy trying to recover from Rebel Moon.
Right. Yeah, where they threw money at Zack Snyder for no reason. But we've seen Netflix take shows and revive them on the service but those were already shows that were popular, like Cobra Kai.
Right.
Like they took that from YouTube Red and then made it even better than it already was. This is a show that's already just reviled by everyone. There's no way anybody wants it. Anyway, we got a quote here. "We deeply appreciate the millions of fans who propelled the Halo series to be a global success." Yeah, maybe week 1. It's maybe some in week 2.
For real, yeah.
And we remain committed to broadening the Halo universe in different ways in the future, 343 Industries said. "We are grateful to Amblin and Paramount for their partnership in bringing..." All right, so a lot of this
I'm surprised it's Amblin. I keep forgetting it's Amblin. That's Steven Spielberg's company. But then again, he did Ready Player One, so I guess all bets are off with him nowadays.
That's very true. So I guess final thoughts on this. Where do you think they went wrong? What do you think they could have done better? And since I didn't watch it, did this ever cross the valley into becoming like virtue signaling kind of stuff, or was this just kind of like did it keep like kind of like neutral?
So in terms of virtue signaling and sociopolitics and all that stuff, outside of some race swapping and some girl boss moments, there weren't really, and those are kind of, unfortunately where we are nowadays, those are kind of standard for everything we're going to watch. So outside of that, there was no, Master Chief never turned to you at the camera and said, "Colonialization is bad. Humans should never look around," right? He never did anything like that. So, but what the big problem was, it was just poorly written. So I watched the entirety of the first season because I am a giant Halo fan. I've been playing since the very first one back in 2001 on the Xbox, played them all the way through, stopped playing at Halo 4 because that game was absolutely terrible. And so this was coming out and I went, all right, if I'm going to talk noise on it, I'm reading all the interviews and, we're going to take off his helmet. We're going to make some changes. All right. If I'm going to talk about it, then I have to engage with it. I have to watch all of them. So I did. And Marvin, I cannot tell you how absolutely painful so many of these moments were and how nonsensical the show just gets. So so you watch the first 2 episodes. We start with that really, really awesome fight scene in the colony, right? When the Master Chief and the Spartans drop down. Amazing scene. Absolutely gorgeous. Great choreography. Then we get introduced to that secondary lead, right? Like the young girl, your lone wolf and cub, the cub.
Right.
That storyline, okay, that's what we think you're going for, right? Like, Amanda, lone wolf and cub. She disappears halfway through the season. She just leaves. like, and this wasn't like, you know, there was a mid-season break, so they went back to the writer's room and they said, okay, nobody likes us, let's try again. It was just, that's what they had planned. They introduced her halfway through, she disappears. Then you get a lot of really bad characterization from the Master Chief. You know, as somebody, you know, everybody out there who's played the game, you guys know the Chief is stoic. He's essentially brainwashed to be the perfect soldier. He doesn't question orders. He doesn't rebel unless he's under 343 Industries, but they don't know what they're doing. So in this series, we instead get a Master Chief who is he's very vulnerable. There's a sex scene. Like he finds connection with another person, which is just so odd. He defies his superiors at almost every turn when it comes to, you know, take her out, don't return to this mission, don't go there. Oh, I'm going to do that because I know better. It's like, that's not Chief. And I think,
oh boy,
I think this moment was in maybe the second episode, so you may have seen it, but this was the show instantly cratered for me, and I knew we were in for a rough time. So after that fight at the colony, Chief, you know, he like picks up the girl and takes him with her, and he's taking her back to the Earth base. And while they're on the ship, he's like sitting there and he's like very quiet, and he gets her some food, and you know, she's very uncomfortable. She's like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know who this guy is. He's not talking, blah, blah, blah. And so he gets her some food and he sits back down, and he's still, you know, very like upright, like a soldier. And he's just sitting there quiet, looking straight ahead. She's eating and she goes, aren't you like, wow, you're like a real robot, aren't you? Doesn't say anything. So she keeps eating and she goes, are you going to have any of that? And he goes, there's no nuts and bolts. And she goes, what? And he goes, you said I was a robot, no nuts and bolts. And I'm like, the Master Chief does not joke. There is no, that is not at that moment, I almost lost my mind. And I just went, oh, we're in for a bad time.
Oh, and then I don't understand how you could fundamentally misunderstand a character to that extent, and to fundamentally misunderstand everything everybody likes about a character.
It's because the main objective with a lot of these shows, or, you know, 98% of them, 99% of them, sometimes we get the odd winner, but a lot of the people behind these shows don't, as you know, Marvin, they don't care for the source material. They're really in it for themselves. They don't want to tell a story about, you know, this character or that character or this world. They want to go, how can I put my stamp on this? How can I make this character mine? How can I differentiate it? And you know, I hate that. And that's because
it's the difference between shows like The Witcher, which do exactly what you're saying, and shows like the revival of DuckTales, which had such an extreme love for the source material
that it
just created this just like absolutely wonderful experience for fans all over the world.
And it's such a narcissistic mindset, because how many adaptations, I mean, we could even point to the early MCU, right? Fans get adaptations, and when they're truthful and they're like successful, sure, you didn't do anything new to the character, but man, to this day we go, Jon Favreau did amazing with Iron Man. The Russos did amazing with Winter Soldier, because they were so respectful, and that earns you a different type of respect. The difference between I'm respected for treating the characters right, and I'm respected for having done a really unique take on characters that everybody loved, is that this one gets you all the credit. Everybody has to put your name and talk about it because you were the one who made that version. Over here, you're just another member of a team of people who over the years have heralded this character. The narcissists in charge nowadays, they can't have that. It needs to be them. It needs to be them.
Yep. They can only write stories about themselves. Now, I want to pose this to our viewers down in the comments. What do you guys think? Did you watch this show? Did you want to see a season 3 for some reason? Comment below and let us know. As Spencer and I just said, a Halo series could have been incredible, but this was just another major studio failure that overthought a simple concept and turned it into something unrecognizable. So fare thee well, Halo the series. May you never be spoken of again. Thanks for checking out the video today. I hope you'll join us Thursday nights at 8 p.m. for Toonie Talk TV, a live stream pop culture podcast. It's a great way to make your voice heard as part of the Toonitown community. And please subscribe to our pro wrestling channel, Toonitown Wrestling, as well as that Gameplace, that Park Place gaming channel where I'm a regular host. If you liked what you saw here, please like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Toonitown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!